Ever since I was a little kid, I would always come home from school, almost every single day, with thought-provoking questions floating around in my mind, mainly about the great world we live in.
Africa? That's a continent. Oh, God. Did you name any countries in Africa? God, no. Who knows stuff like that?
The questions about the world could be anything, from capital cities, to populations, to economies, or even flags.
Whose flag is this? France?
Thoughts about the international world always had space in my mind. Countries' customs, their cultures, their leaders, their political systems, or even their locations.
That's okay. Any country on the map.
Africa.
That's a continent.
And everything else about them always piqued my interest. Even before I had access to my own electronics, I would still try to answer those questions using whatever resources I had, from my world maps to my simple books. Now, with access to the internet and a map of the world with countries' names on it, I want to describe the interesting world of international relations, but not in a simple manner where I just talk. I instead want to describe it through another one of my favorite hobbies, bowling. Imagine our great big world, with billions of people and thousands of ideas, cultures, even millions. Now imagine a bowling lane, complete with its own ball. Doesn't seem like there's much in common with the great wide world, does it? But if you look a little closer, you'll see that a bowling alley and a simple bowling ball are actually a fantastic way to represent the complex relationships that exist in our world today, and also a great way to represent what makes the world of international relations so interesting. For anyone unfamiliar with the complexities of bowling, it seems quite simple from the outside. You have one bowling lane complete with oil patterns. You have 10 pins, and you have one ball. The goal is to knock the pins down by throwing the ball across the lane. It seems pretty simple, but as many of us know, bowling is not very simple. International relations is also not simple, but some people think it is. People have all types of solutions to the problem of the world. They think there's unlimited money. They think you can basically just do anything you want if you're the United States. People might say, oh, why doesn't the US just install democracy in Afghanistan, or throw a bunch of money at it and eliminate the terrorists? Or even some of the more extreme people might say, let's just nuke Moscow and end the war in Ukraine forever. Bowling lanes have many different oil patterns, just like the world has many different cultures, ideas, and beliefs. Just like this professional bowler, the US was originally scoring strikes in the world of foreign relations, with shows of force and strong power in cases such as World War II or Teddy Roosevelt's Great White Fleet. But now, this professional bowler is struggling to pick up spares that should be easy, especially for a professional like himself. So why is this? Well, it's because of the oil patterns or the changing times. And with the development of mass media, newer guerrilla warfare techniques, and stronger rebel groups, places like the United States has been unable to adapt to the changing world or changing oil patterns seen in countries like Afghanistan, where they tried for 20 years to install democracy, but yet could not succeed. Another way the world of international relations relates to the world of bowling is through the use of different bowling balls. This Storm IQ is heavier and spins more than this Storm Burner, which I have right here. Thus, I use this Storm IQ for more strike-related scenarios, and I use this Storm Burner for more spare-related scenarios. The same thing happens in the world of international relations. The US might use strike power, or for example, military invasions or assassinations, to cause change quick and fast when they really, really need it. But then the US might use soft power, or more of a spare ball, to cause change over a longer period of time, especially in places where they don't have good standing. For example, they love to spread their media or their television to places such as Chad in Africa, where my French teacher is originally from, who was just telling us about how her relatives there absolutely love learning about Jesse and always ask her questions if every single American lives in a penthouse in New York City with a butler named Bertram. Those bowling balls, or strike and spare balls, aren't even limited to the US either. Almost every single country in the world uses them, like China, with them circling Taiwan with fighter jets to scare away Taiwanese voters from voting for anti-Chinese parties. Or the Belt Road Initiative, which is much more of a soft power initiative where they try to increase goodwill in Africa and also exert power in Africa by making them take out loans to build high infrastructure projects. Whether it be living in France for 3 years or exploring 23 different countries in almost every single continent of the world, I've been extremely lucky with my exposures to the world, but I haven't taken those opportunities for granted. For every single country I've been to, I've made sure to learn something unique about that country, whether it's unique culture and food, or relationships with other countries that are neighboring or even not neighboring, or their political parties, or basically anything else that makes a country unique, I've tried to find something that I can take back with me. And just like bowling balls and bowling lanes, these different patterns, different relationships, and different things that make a country's world identity so unique is exactly what I find so interesting about international. The connections every country has with each other, or the unique trends and bowling patterns that exist on a bowling lane that can either send a ball barreling into the gutter or flying and knocking down for a strike, are why I love international relations and why I hope to study it for the next 4 years of my life at Tulane University.